Obviously, a hard one. The reason being, it's like, what is it like in real life? So, different cheek wells, like just obviously different dynamics. Never seen anyone do it before. Like,
Alright, so I just spent a little bit of time on the range shooting with this mask, and I have to say it's actually not as difficult as I thought it would be. Um, I do have risers on a lot of my setups, and so the optic tends to be mounted a little bit higher than exact or absolute co-witness or even 1/3 co-witness. So as you can see, like on this one, my EOTech is sitting on a Knight's riser, and so a lot of people say like, oh, that's like really high and like, off the bore and stuff. People always bitch and moan about, whatever they think is like not in the norm. So I don't really care. But one, I think it's nice because instead of a cheek weld where I'm shoving my cheek down, I've got it on a chin weld, and so my head is more upright, so it's a little bit less stress on my neck. The other thing too is being more upright just gives me a better field of view, so I can see like if I'm quickly bringing it down to peek over the top or just looking around in general instead of being shoved down like this. I feel like I can basically like see what's going on a little bit easier. But I guess the added benefit is that if I have the mask on, or if there's something on my face, most likely another mask, then I'm not going to have as much issue with basically getting a proper cheek weld and seeing through the optic. So same thing with something like this. I know my hair looks lovely right now, but if I have a proper cheek, well, actually it almost brings it to a standard cheek weld. I don't know if you could hear that, but that almost brings it to a standard cheek weld. So when I bring the rifle up and I have the mask resting against it, it almost brings it to like what you would normally do on a rifle with nothing on your cheek. Shooting at the range with the gas masks was very interesting. I did get a few weird looks, although I did kind of talk to the people immediately around us and say, hey, I'm doing a video, so I'm going to be wearing a mask while I'm shooting. And it was so funny because one guy who was there, he was like, he just gave me kind of a funny look, and he was like, hey man, like whatever you're into. And I was just like, just don't worry about it. But yeah, it was interesting. But I mean, most of the people who shoot at that range are pretty cool anyway. So, but yeah, pretty much. I'll say like if you have something in your kit that is like this is an example is the mask, right? But if you have like other stuff in your kit, it's always a good idea to at least try it out to see what it's like, even if you don't use it every time you go to the range, just so that you kind of know like, oh, if I had to use this, what would it be like? And honestly, I was mostly just curious because I have stuff like this that can be useful in some situations. I mean, probably not any situations that would come up in like everyday life, but I don't know. People always like talk about like, oh, that zombie movie is terrible because like everybody who's in the movie had no idea what they were doing and they ended up getting killed. And I'm just like, well, it is a movie, but also you have to consider if you were in that situation, how would you handle it? Would it be, like, would you be the first to die because you had no idea what you were doing? Or if you have some semblance of an idea of what you were doing, maybe that one thing that you didn't know could get you killed anyway. So then it might be all moot point. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to show you guys. I don't know if that was interesting to you or not, but hopefully you enjoyed the video and maybe it gives you a different perspective. I haven't really seen a lot of people on YouTube or basically online showing what it's like or how to shoot with any kind of facial obstructions. And so yeah. Actually, I forgot to mention if you you can see in the video here, there's a section where I'm shooting with an aim point on an AR, and the aim point is like, I think, absolute co-witness. It's pretty difficult, but it's not impossible. So like we have steel at 200 yards, and I was able to hit steel shooting just a little bit unconventionally sideways gangster style. It's doable. It's just not as practical as actually having a riser and putting your optic up higher. I have not found any real disadvantage aside from maybe like initial zeroing and stuff might be a little bit more interesting if you have your optic mounted higher. But I haven't really shot at really great distances yet, so maybe that impacts that. But for the most part, most of my stuff is mounted high just because it's more comfortable for me. And you know, if you mount it a different way, so be it. That's your choice. But yeah, basically, if you're gonna try something like this, you know, make sure to talk to people ahead of time so you don't freak them out or get shot because you show up to the range with a mask on. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
That's so hard.
Okay, so you see the 10 out there?
Yeah.
Yours is the left 5, mine is the right 5.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Go.
I need a riser.
You do?
It's hard.
Is it like, so did you turn it like
Yeah, I
sideways?
tilted it.
Still no?
No, I can do it, but as you can see, I missed.
Well, maybe that has to do with your shooting skill.
Well, you have to do it with your ball.